All right, I thought a fun video to do would be a guess the grade video, but these are not graded notes yet. These are notes that are about to be sent to PMG. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, are all of these notes grade worthy? No. But I have just told myself, taken it upon myself to get notes that I am keeping in my collection graded. Now, when this video drops, these notes will have already been sent off, along with some others from maybe some of the guys from the roundtable. I'll let them do their own videos regarding the notes they send off, but it will be a pretty large submission to PMG. And I'm sure when they all come back, all of our channels will be flooded with graded note reveal videos, and it'll be big fun for everyone. But what I am doing with this one is I have actually taken my grades right here and written them down. And I'm going to read right off the sheet. And if you want to post your own list or something, let's see who can get the most correct. There's quite a few notes. I have honestly hadn't counted, but there are quite a few here that I am going to send off. So let's get started. This will be a longer video, so bear with me. And here we go. First thing, we have a National Bank note from Indianapolis. This is a radar. If you look at the serial number, yes, it's beat up. It does have a story to tell. This one, I believe, is just going to get a straight up F12. F is fine, so a fine 12. The paper on it is still strong enough to, I think, keep it out of that VG range, but we will see, and I will show you the back. Now, if you look at it and you're like, it's a G4 or whatever, put that in the comments. That's fine. I am no expert by any means with grading. I'm just going by what I've read and other notes I've had graded. Okay, next. 1934 C Series radar on a $5 silver certificate. I believe this one is going to get an F15. Right there. Next one, I have a 1953 A Series silver certificate. So it looks a little nicer. It has that fold right in the middle, but it faces up very well. I think this is going to get a VF30. Next, we have a $10 1934 C Series. And this is a repeater. If you look at that serial number, 3242, 3242, pretty tough note to find. All right, this is a solid note to get graded, especially for the money I have in it. Okay. I believe this note is going to get a VF25. Okay, you have another repeater. All right, this is from 1934 series. That is the darker seal on that. I know it's lighter looking, but that is the darker seal. Okay, and I believe this is going to get a VF25. I'll show you the back real quick. Next, this is the 1930 or 1953 Silver Certificate 5. It's got a really cool serial number on it. There's the back right there. I believe this one is going to get a VF35. Okay, here is one that I want you to focus right up there on top in the middle, right up here. Notice there's a little paper pull out there. There's a little piece of paper missing. This is a repeater. 1934 C Series Federal Reserve note. It's a great looking note. Okay, notice up there where I pointed on the reverse. Okay, there is some rust. I believe this one is going to have a rust comment. That's probably from a paper clip. All right, but that's a comment note in my book. But that serial number is just good enough to warrant getting it graded. Okay, now on to some, I think they're pretty cool notes. Here, let's put that down. There we go. This right here is one where I don't really know what the comment's going to be, but you know it's going to have one. This is a super radar, okay? With the zeros on the front and end and then all the same number in the middle. These are really tough, and it is on a silver certificate. All right, I think honestly this note is going to get a VG10. I was about to go with an 8, but I thought let's be optimistic. But then all up here on that top border, you can see how it's kind of breaking down a little bit. The whole margin is pretty much gone. It will have a comment. I just don't know which one. It might say trimmed, or it might say something like note or part of paper missing. There's a lot of unique comments they could put on these things. There's the back. I guess they could say mold. I don't know if that's mold or not, but notice the back actually does have a margin. So I don't know if that makes it an error or anything like that. I've never got into the error game. I just know that this note has a great serial number, and this will be a very interesting one to get back. Because if it's an error, number one, I'll have to pay more to get it graded. Not much, but just a little bit. But then you don't see lots of errors with fancy serial numbers or anything like that. So that would just kind of double not the value, but the coolness factor of it. So pretty unique note. All right, next, here's a great one. Okay, this is a funny back. It's a 1928 silver certificate, and it's a super radar. Really great note. It does have a little bit of handling, but it's a great note nonetheless. I think this note, I have it written down for an AU50. I may be a little conservative on it, especially looking at it through the phone right here, but you know, it's going to be above an AU50 or above. I really feel if it hits mint state, that would be amazing. A funny back super radar in mint state is a pretty valuable note, but pretty good stuff here. Okay, we have right here. This is a 1953 A series silver certificate 5. All right, it is a repeater. I'll show you the back. Great note. No issues whatsoever. It's got sharp corners and everything. So I think this note right here, you know, the paper's a little wavy there, but man, it's just crispy as everything. I think this thing is going to get a lower mint state. So like an MS62, MS63, something like that. I may be way off base, but there's no folds in it. And that wavy paper is just, it's been in a holder for a long time, but it's a real crispy note. So I actually just had it out and trying to figure out a grade, because if you look at it, it's an AU50 note, but I really don't think it is. So I may shoot myself in the foot there, but we'll see. Okay, 1934 A series, $20 Federal Reserve note. Pretty neat. It is a repeater. Great looking note. Obviously it is circulated. I think this is going to be a VF30. Okay, here's a true binary repeater, 0010 and then 0010. Okay. Really tough note. You gotta love true binary notes. That's referring to computer code as using only zeros and ones. Really solid note here. Obviously it's circulated. I have it down for an F15, but sometimes notes like this, where they do have a heavy centerfold, they'll still throw them in a VF20 holder. All right, this one will have the true binary and repeater designation on it. So pretty neat stuff. Okay, here is a legal tender radar. I love legal tenders. There's something about the red seal that just really sets them off. It's 1963 series. It does have some handling. Up top there, you can see the waviness. It does not show a fold in the light, but it is it's a little wavy. Maybe down here in this corner, you can see that little crease. All right, I have this down as an AU50. It may throw that XF, but I'm going to be optimistic again on it. All right, here is a beautiful note. This is a super repeater. O2 is repeated 4 times across that serial number. All right, and with these higher grade notes, because this is uncirculated, you really got to check out those margins. And these margins are great. Let me hold it back so you can see the whole note. Really strong margins, and on the back they have very large margins, but they look, fairly equal. I have this down for an MS66. Don't be surprised if it comes back a 65, because the east and west margin on both the obverse and the reverse are a little different, okay? But it's crispy. It's a really, really good note. Okay. Here is a really cool repeater, 8s and 1, so it's a binary repeater. It is on a 28B series from, let's see, it's a Federal Reserve note on a 10 from the Cleveland. That's what the D is all about. Cleveland Bureau. All right, and I've always liked this note a lot. I've had it a while and never got it graded, just because it's always one that I push to the back of the grade pile, because I don't know, I just think it's beat up enough it's not going to get a really good grade. I have it down for a VF20. Don't be surprised if it comes back as a 15, because it's kind of rough. No tears or pinholes or anything. It's just kind of rough. It actually is rougher than it looks on the screen. Okay, now for some unusual ones. You saw this in a Fancy Friday not long ago. This is the 1914 Series 100. All right, one of these things in mint state, in rougher shape, but in mint state will cost you $800 or $900. You get, or not mint state, I shouldn't say that. One of these in rougher shape, with all the note attached, is going to cost you $800 or $900. In mint state, they will hit, $3,000, $4,000 pretty easily. Okay, really beautiful notes. This one does have the radar serial number on it. Obviously, that's why I got it. Is it a total rag? Yes. The bottom part is actually missing there. This will have a comment, but they will throw it in plastic. Yeah, I would say it will probably be a G4 tops. They may throw it into the AG, which is about good, an AG2 or 3. All right. And I forget what the lowest grade is. I don't think it's a 1, just because you can still read aspects of it and stuff. But yeah, I think it'll be probably a G4 with some comments. Okay, here is another, if I can pick it up. Here's another one with some issues. All right, it is a radar serial number. Okay, on the 1914 10. This one's probably been washed. Something has made the serial number streak, and it's obviously been folded. And this is tape residue on the side here, and then also on the other side. So this one will definitely have some comments. If they just put the word ugly on the back, that would be fine. But it is a fancy serial number, large size, where if you guys collect large size at all, or fancies, you understand how rare these notes are. Okay. This is one of those where you might question my grading on it. Why get this graded? Man, it's going to stay in my collection. That's the deal. And I just want all my notes graded. So I like to have that radar designation on them. It makes them easier to sell if the need be. Okay, I think this one right here is going to get an F12 with a comment. All right, next. This is a repeater note, 3775, 3775, on a 1918 1. These are so cool. And I've recently got some of these fancies, both radars and repeaters. So they're just, they're cool notes to have. This one's circulated. There's that big green eagle on the back. Really great notes. I think this one's going to get a VF30. Even with the wavy paper and stuff, the paper's real solid on it. This one could throw an EPQ. I mean, there's just no issues with it, and the embossing on it's really good. It's still got some life in the paper. And then this last one here is a Radar 839938 on the same series note. It's a 1 from 1918 series. This one's from Cleveland, while the other one was Philadelphia. Heavier center folds there. Will that take away from the grade? Yeah, but it still does have some eye appeal to it. I think this one's going to get a VF20. Don't be surprised if it gets a 25 or heck, maybe even a 30. The paper is really strong on this still. You just never know. I struggle with my large size notes and grading them because I've seen some ugly ones get higher grades than you assume. I would not call this the most beautiful of notes. Well, I appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully you stuck with me the entire 16 minutes of this. If you want to grab a pen and throw your own grades down, do it. I believe I showed every note well enough that you can put a viable grade down. I should get these notes back in probably 4 to 6 months, long enough for you to forget about them, and we can revisit this when they do come back. So thank you for watching, and I will see you later.